Hey guys, welcome out to another episode of the Pod of War Gamescast. I'm your host, EOF Gizmo, joined this week by Xbox Live, CW Lanky.
Hello.
And the Atari Television Amigo Pico's Massive Das, Chris Bengali.
Hello everyone.
So guys, it's another week. How are we doing? We all happy?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Davey.
Craig's obviously back in cyberpunk land. Although it kind of looks like, there's a Halo ship just over your shoulder. The other shoulder. Just there.
Yeah, I can see it. It looks a bit Blade Runner as well.
Very purple, obviously.
Yeah.
And people like purple, so it's all gravy. So, we'll start the show as we always do with what we've been buying, what we've been playing. We'll start this week with your boy, Craig Warren. Obviously, we can't talk about the main game because that's the topic of the show. So, make something up, Craigo.
So I've actually played something else before Forza came out. I finished the first run of Scarlet Nexus. I think it took me like nearly 25 hours to do the first run, so it's quite lengthy. But I did do quite a lot of the kind of additional stuff. There is, I don't know if I spoke about it before, but there is like two different types of additional stuff. There's the side missions, which are absolute dross and they shouldn't even have bothered. Like I don't know why they're even in the game. It's literally like you speak to someone, it's not even voice, it's just text on the screen, and it's like, bring me 3 of these, and then you just go into a menu and if you have them, and it just gives you whatever the reward is. Awful. Shouldn't be in the game. Terrible. Don't know why they bothered. And then they have the like bond missions, which you do with your kind of party, which are mainly just cutscenes. Mainly, like, I think there's like, I don't know how many different people in a party. There's 8 of them or whatever. I think there's like 5 bond missions per person. I think one of them is an actual mission. So one of the 5 will be an actual like thing where you go to somewhere you've already been and you fight baddies and got to go somewhere and get something. And then the other 4 will just be side quests. Will just be cutscenes. So I did a lot of that on my first run. I think on my second run with the girl, I will probably just skip the cutscenes because I cannot watch it all of that again. There's so much watching in that game.
You're gonna blaze it, flip, and reverse it.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of speed run the second run because there's a lot of like cutscenes where I'm like, oh, this is pretty much exactly the same cutscene as in the first run. So I'm like, I'm not watching this again because, like I said, there's so much watching in this game. So yeah, I think I'm on like phase 2 on the second run, but obviously I haven't touched that in a few days because something else has come out, which we will get to in a bit. But yeah, I will go back to that and smash through that second run at some point, and that is it. Other than obviously Forza for me.
So how does it feel this year to be the weeb, the anime weeb of our
right?
group? You know what I mean? Like, you are the anime boy now. It's funny. It's really.
I said I was going to finish more Japanese games than you two. I'm doing it.
You're on there.
I'm doing it.
I'd like to sit and figure it out. You're probably edging. I think Nintendo might strike you down a bit because I think me and Chris have finished relatively by our standards.
You two don't play games on Nintendo.
Well, we'll find out that you're wrong in a minute, Craig.
Yeah.
So yeah, right. Anyway, lovely. Well, I'll do me next. I love ending on Chris because obviously his is always what everyone sits here for.
Yeah.
If you get through the first 10 minutes, you are a Pengals fan. I think that's what it is. So other than the game we're talking about later, I've been playing mostly more Football Manager because that game's still great. You'll be pleased to hear. It's better than last year. Love that stuff. I've been playing Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD remaster on my Switch. About 5-6 hours in. It feels like a PS2 game because it is a PS2 game, but it's good. It's a fun game. It's the dungeons are so monotonous that if it wasn't handheld, I don't know how or why you would play it. Like, it's one of those, like, the first dungeon, the first proper dungeon you do, gives you, like, you'll go down a hallway, you've got 2 options. If you go down the wrong option, it sends you back to the start of the dungeon. But then there's, like, 10 hallways in a row, so you have to basically get 10 hallways right, completely by random, with no tell.
Sounds awful.
It's a lot of that. A lot of excuse for you to be in combat and grind, I think, is basically why they've done it. Very common in the time when this game came out. Obviously, that was almost 20 years ago. But I'm quite enjoying it. The voice acting for the remaster is very good. The actual combat is good. It's a good turn-based combat system. It's pretty basic, but it's the same as all the other Shin Megami Tensei games, to be honest. and I like those games. So, but yeah, it's fine. It's one of those like I'm glad that I played this in its very cheap purchase price than buying 5 for 50 quid and realizing the same. You know what I mean? Like I may well get a bit further in this than I am now. Like it's my handheld game. Whenever, to be honest, Craig Shake said on a Tuesday, like today, Amanda watches Bake Off. That's a good hour and a half of me having to play my Switch. So do that over a number of weeks, Craig.
Number of years
until Pokemon comes out in a week's time or whatever. But yeah, I'm enjoying that. That's fine. Other than our good friend that we're talking about later, the only real console game I've been playing is The Witcher 3. I'm still grinding away on that. Played about 3 or 4 hours more this week. The game's still really good. It's weird. They've done a really weird thing though, Craig. Okay, and this is a weird thing that I've only just discovered. So today, Chris Pengelly and Craig Warren, The Witcher came out on Switch.
As in...
The Witcher 3 came out on Switch today.
Again?
Without the DLC.
They released the DLC, yeah. And they also, I did actually see, they've added a performance and resolution mode for like the Switch version.
They have.
Which seems really odd.
Yeah, you have PC options on Switch.
What's the resolution options?
You have you have like all the anti-aliasing. You have like the actual PC options. You can go for it. It looks fine. Like I think for a handheld, it looks fine. Like I don't see the issue at all. But I thought it was very strange they released the base game, and you can now buy the DLC when the version that was out before was just the whole game with all the DLC. Like surely you do it the other way round. It's just like and when it came out like 2 years ago, I think year and a half ago. It's really strange. I was just like, I saw it and I was like, I'm sure this came out. So they
like I said, I've seen Digital Foundry or someone do like a new video because of the patch where they've added the options of resolution and frame rate on the Switch. I'm like, okay, like so I don't know what the frame rate mode's resolution is. It must be like 500p or something.
Yeah.
But like at 60 frames, I would guess. I just can't think what it would.
It seems like it looks fine. It runs fine. Like for a Switch game, I think you know what you get when you play the game on Switch. The only cool feature about it, I think, is that you can cross save with PC. It's just if you could cross play with Xbox, that would be ridiculously cool. But it's cool you can do it for Steam and GOG. So
because that would be really helpful because you could play it in your hour and a half of Bake Off
quite happily. Could bin off JRPGs for a nice big Polish RPG instead. So, but other than the game we'll talk about later, that is all I played. I haven't purchased anything this week so far. The boys keep trying to tempt me to buy COD, but thank God it's so expensive for me to buy on digital only on my Series S, because it's obviously I think it's £58 in our place of employment to buy on disc. Obviously that is not an option for me. That's before discount. So it's like why do they always do this? Why is the digital option always the most expensive? Should be the other way around, but there you go.
Hasn't it got crossplay so you could buy it on PS5?
I mean I could, but then I'd have to play it on the PS5, wouldn't I? The PS5 controller.
Yeah, I just thinking because on disc, you cheap disc, you get trophies.
No, I don't. I honestly like Far Cry was a struggle, but like a shooter on the PlayStation controller is no. The sticks are just in the wrong place. They just suck. It just does not feel good or comfortable for me at all. Like I just can't. Give me the Xbox controller any day for a shooter. Like platformers doesn't really make a difference. Driving games also wouldn't want a driving game. I've completed Dirt 5 twice, and Forza is like so much nicer to play on an actual controller. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. So Chris, without further ado, if you can limit this to just video games, well, please.
Oh yeah, but everyone loves
everyone.
The Lego.
Yeah.
Or you can do that on your Lego podcast on your channel.
I don't have a Lego. Well, I don't have that many pickups. So I've been on holiday. So I have a Brighton and Newcastle, or the Brighton what do you call it? Program. Yeah. So I got a program there because I went to that game.
How much is a Premier League program nowadays, Pengy?
It came free with my ticket, so I have no idea.
Oh, I have no idea. Brighton.
Yeah. So I have that. And then from my trip to Brighton, I got one game And that's Silent Hill Shattered Memories for the Wii.
Right.
So it kind of, would have fitted in last week, being a horror game. And
You played it before, or?
I've never played it. It's a sort of remake of the original Silent Hill. I did give it a try, and that you use your Wiimote to, like Alan Wake.
Give it a try here a minute.
I put it in, and I walked through like the first bit of the town, and I can save the game now. Right, that's it. I can save the game. It works. But you use your Wiimote to point your flashlight.
I'm not sure that's really giving it a try.
It's not, is it? Did you even get the flashlight by the time you saved it?
Yeah, you stopped. Oh,
did you see an enemy?
No.
Right.
I did not see an enemy.
So that's not giving it a try, is it? That is you've put the disc in. I
put the disc in.
It works.
And loaded it.
It works. You walk around with your nunchuck analog stick, and you point, your torch with.
You have explained how Wii's work. Thank you.
Yeah.
What's the review of that load up then, Chris?
Well, actually, the control scheme. I do like the control scheme. It's decent.
For fudge's sake! You're such. I can't. We've got to do a top 10 games Chris played for less than 10 minutes this year, and we'd have like 60 games to choose from. That's the great tragedy.
Yeah. So that was the only game I got, and I also went to the Lego store in Brighton.
I saw other games on Twitter, Chris, that you purchased.
No, I need to get. I haven't got to them. I get to them.
Oh, good for
Okay. All right.
So I have the new Asgard build of Infinity Saga.
Right.
So you get the build like his little flat, and that. So I got that, and I also got a big Star Wars Boba Fett ship.
Oh yeah, it's not called what it's called anymore, is it?
You can't call. It's not called Slave One anymore. It's just Boba Fett ship.
Say it on YouTube, Chris. God damn it.
Cancelled.
Cancelled. That is no monetization for us this week, boys.
Yeah, so I got those two from the Lego store in Brighton. So that was my holiday pickups, I guess you would say. And then today I went to actually trade in Pokemon cards because the new game shop open and that in town. And they're like, and while I was looking for my Pokemon cards, I found I had another original PlayStation. I didn't even know I had two of them, but I had a second one in a box. So I took the Pokemon cards and the PlayStation to trade in. They wouldn't take the Pokemon cards. They're like, yeah, we've had hundreds traded in since we've opened, but we'll take the PlayStation. Tested it was all good, blah blah blah. I got quite a decent trade-in value for the PlayStation, and I picked up 2 games with my trade-in. I got Pathless and Guardians of the Galaxy. It is the PS4 version because they had no PS5 version, but it is a free upgrade to the PS5 version. So I have got the PS5 version downloaded. So I have the PS5 version of that, but it's a PS4 physical and the Pathless. So my random original box PlayStation, which I didn't even know, got me enough trade-in for these two. So,
could you imagine just randomly having a console you didn't think you had? A duplicate console, Craig, that you didn't think you had?
Yeah, because I still have my other original PlayStation and my little PS1, and I had a third one which I didn't even know I had. So,
love it.
Yeah, now you don't.
Yeah, so that is my pickup.
Have you played Guardians yet?
I have not, but literally I got it half an hour ago, so it is installed, and so with Pathless, they are both installed, ready to play at some point.
Love that. That's quite concise this week, Chris. That's good.
Have you played anything other than that?
The only thing I've played for the past week is Ratchet and Clank. I decided to actually start that after House of Ashes, and it is phenomenal. It is one of the best games I've played this year. The graphics on it and that it does feel like next gen with the graphics and how the going between the rifts and that all work all really good. It is more of a Rivet game than a Ratchet game. You play much more of her, so it's going to be obviously I'm on the last mission. It's in the option speak to the character and you will not be able to turn back, blah blah blah. So it's the last mission. So I don't know how it ends, but it'd be interesting where they go next. If they do the Miles Morales route and there's like a smaller spin-off game with Rivet just as the main character. Like we had Quest for Booty back on the PS3, which was that sort of thing. So it'd be again, I don't know how it ends, but I can see him definitely continue make a proper Ratchet sequel and like a side game with her or something, or she now becomes the main character or whatnot. So see how it ends.
Lovely. Well, we'll find out next week on the show, I'm sure.
Very
good. Very good. So we haven't actually played a lot this week, or have we? Let's get to the topic of the show. Tots. So for once, Chris is going to be very quiet. So for all those that like that, good stuff. You obviously got called out pretty heavily last week. What was Grant? It was Grant Jones. What did he say?
Yeah, he was not happy.
He was saying that Gone Home was trash, I believe. Which
good man.
is correct.
Some did like my Quattro as well, so that's why I continued.
Audi Quattro. Very good. So, speaking of the Audi Quattro, segue. The topic of the show is, of course, our thoughts so far on Forza Horizon 5, which we've been playing. Me and Craig have been playing the Ultimate Edition Early Access for the last couple of weeks. That's a week, I suppose. Week? Is it a week?
It came out Friday.
Let's go with a week.
Yeah, it came out Friday, unless you went on a short holiday to New Zealand.
How was New Zealand, Craig? Was it
New Zealand was lovely. Only there for a few hours, turned out, but the few hours I spent there was very nice. Got a bit confused. I thought I was in Wellington, Somerset, and I was completely the wrong place.
It's a hell of a drive as well, isn't it? To be fair,
it really was. It was phenomenal. There's a lot of memes and stuff on Twitter about how people didn't know that Forza was so popular in New Zealand, but apparently it was.
Now they know.
Yeah.
Forza Horizon 5 has come out. It's officially out, I think now. Is it officially out now, Pinky?
Yeah, it came out today.
That and Football Manager on there, of course.
Yeah, I have that downloaded, ready to go.
Love that. But it's not the Football Manager episode. That is next week. Forza, though. Initial impressions, Craig. What do you think of the time that you have played so far?
So I think looking at True Achievements, I'd already played 16 and a half hours, and that I don't think that includes today. I've probably put a good 2 hours in already this morning. It is basically, it is the Forza Horizon kind of experience, but it is so much better than 4. It looks phenomenal. It sounds phenomenal as well. All the cars sound so much better. All the actual environments sound a lot better. With even the traffic, you actually hear the traffic on your headset, as opposed to I don't think you could do that on 4. It just kind of improves on 4 in pretty much every single way. The cars are ridiculously detailed, and the effects on the cars look great. I think I was saying to you, Dave, when you go through the big puddles and the water splashes onto your car, it looks phenomenal. And yeah, it is everything you kind of want it to be and more. It's the fact that I'm day off today. I went for a run, played it for a couple of hours, doing the podcast. I'm sure as soon as I finish doing this, I will be straight back on Forza, because it is very addicting. It's got that. You're just going from race to race, going from event to event, doing the barn finds and stuff like that. You just ticking things off is very satisfying so far for me.
Yeah, I mean, I've myself played 9 hours according to True Achievements, because I've obviously been at work and not to New Zealand. But yeah, you're right in that it's the Forza 3 and 4, Horizon 3 and 4's formula of lots of races. You've got the showcase events, the kind of silly little story missions, all that good stuff. But it's just a level of polish again that it's every time we say, I don't know how they're going to do it. And again, from a technical level, the polish is insane. The fact that it's obviously native to everything day one, which the 4 didn't get a patch until near the end for the new consoles, is crazy. For us playing on the series consoles, its load times are basically non-existent. There's a bit online, but I think that's more because you're playing with players. You're not only you ping into servers, you're playing with Xbox One players, you're playing with PC players and stuff, right? So it is a little bit slower that way, but everything else, like fast travel is about a second, come back to your car is about a second, all that good stuff. The Mexican theme, I kind of like it. It's very similar to 3 because it's kind of it's got more biomes, you know what I mean? It's got like a desert and it's got like a jungle, all that kind of stuff, which you couldn't really do in the UK, which is I think why they did the seasons so heavily. in the last games, because that was kind of a way to differentiate the levels of the game, because there's no deserts in Yorkshire, as far as I know. But yeah, and I personally love this kind of like Latin kind of theme anyway, so having all that kind of stuff. Some of the story missions are really funny. How you set the events up is really cool. I kind of like that the expedition bits are like a bit explorative, like you have like objectives and stuff, which you don't really have for those games, which is kind of fun. Obviously, you said the cars are great. The design lab is exactly the same as it was in the last game. Fantastic. You get. I've already got a truck that's got Brazzers logos on it. I've already got an Asda van. I've already got a Pokemon back mono. You know what I mean? I've already got all the good stuff. I've got a mystery machine. It's all good. And it's just fun. Like, so I think the only issue I've had so far is the connection is kind of dodge. I don't know if that's because it was pre-release, but it likes to tell you you're not connected when you are. But other than that, yeah, we've played it in co-op quite a bit together. I've been playing with a friend from work in co-op. It's no problem. But yeah, trying to think. Yeah, the one thing they have changed that I like is the festival playlist. The weeklies.
Aren't the obviously not playing it and obviously just seeing reviews and stuff. Like in 4, you had the big festival hub. Is it now there's like lots of little ones for all the different events?
Yes, which is kind of the way it used to be.
Right. Okay.
Which is I'm sure that the first game is like that, and I'm pretty sure 2 and 3 are like that as well. I think 4 was slightly different. Maybe even 4 was like that, to be honest.
Yeah, it kind of is, but it kind of update it again in the way that not only is there like more festival spots, but the way you can choose to unlock them is you can unlock them in any order.
Yeah.
But when you unlock them, they have like a special event that will unlock. So one of them will be, okay, so this unlocks all of the dirt races. And then one of them will be, okay, this unlocks all of the circuit, all of the street races, that sort of thing. One of them is just PR, like the stunts and that sort of thing. So you can, like, when you start the game, I think you have to unlock the first one. Then you can be like, oh, I like doing the rally dirt races. I'm going to unlock this one first, for example.
Yeah, street races last, because screw that shit.
Yeah, so that's quite cool how it gives you that kind of choice. And then they have the side missions that you then, like, kind of unlock after that. So each one has like it would be like a story mission. So there's one where you spend time with a beetle. Every event is doing the beetle, and it kind of goes through the story of how like this woman's granddad drove a beetle, and you do the events that he supposedly did and all that, which is quite cool. And then like, I think the last one of the first one you should get is the Goliath track. So you unlock that, which is like massive. I did it last night. It took me like 15 minutes to do one lap. Because it literally goes completely around the outside of the whole map, and the map is huge. So yeah, it took me 15 minutes. That was in an A-class car as well. So
there's a few of those though, just to warn you.
Yeah, I think every
type, isn't there?
Yeah, the last one is basically kind of like a Goliath event. I think that's the only one that goes fully around the outside of the map, thankfully. But quite a few of them go like
I've unlocked that
up the volcano
so far,
down.
I think it's the 2 I've unlocked.
Okay, and I'm thinking like how like the different events. So you got let's say the street one. I guess there's a showcase event for the street. There's a showcase for dirt, and there's a showcase for badger, and showcase for drift or whatever. I guess, and that's right.
Yeah, I think you unlock them in the same way. So again, they're quite lengthy, some of them, because they are like 6 or 7 events per like story area. So I've only done a handful of them. I've been working my way down, but you kind of unlock them by doing races as well. So you'll unlock like a point, and then you can choose which one you want to do. So I think I now have like 7 points. So I can unlock 7 of them, but because they're quite lengthy, I've not been starting loads of them, because I've been trying to do like one as I unlock it.
Yeah, so is that how you're doing it? Are you going like, right, I'm going to do all the street stuff first, get street done, then move on to drift, or you're doing a bit of everything?
That's how I've been doing it, yeah. I think I've done the first main horizon spot that you get. I finished that one. Now I'm onto I think it's the circuit area. I just did I don't know if Dave's done this one yet, just the one where you do the luchador stuff.
No, I unlocked that last night. I did the one with the one with the float, which was pretty funny.
Yes.
And then I've just unlocked the luchador, and I imagine you get the lucha outfits for doing that, which is cool because they look really hilarious. But yeah, it's very cool. Like what Craig's on about with the accolade points and the adventure points is everything is tied together this time. So whatever you do, you unlock points to unlock the story missions. So and it's so the more races you win. Fuck, that was hard. The more points you get. Doing certain things in the races get you more points. Doing certain things in the world, there's like an in-game achievement system that gets you points. So find 400 roads will get you 50 adventure points that go towards unlocking the next thing. So it's cool. You do this, and it does it for everything. So we've already found, because of the festival playlist, we did Playground, which we did not do at all in 4, and I think we did once in 3, which is the multiplayer mode, is the infected King of the Hill mode kind of thing. Now, we had to do that to unlock points for the seasonal playlist, and that got us working towards the accolade points for that whole section of the game. So it's a really smart way of doing it. So we've already
also rewards you with cars as well.
It rewards you with cars, it rewards you with emotes, it rewards you with all kinds of stuff. So it's one of those things, it's that constant process this time, I think, which motivates you. So they've done this thing with the cars this time where the car masteries is an overall points thing instead of just per car, which is cool. And you get loyalty bonuses for the manufacturers. So when you've got all the Subarus, you get a special thing. It's either experience points, it could be a car, it could be whatever. It could
be a super wheel spin.
A super wheel spin, all that kind of stuff. So it's all this system. So everything you're doing is working towards building your adventure, which is good, because there's some parts of those games that you don't ever play. Like the one thing we haven't done yet is the Eliminator, which is the...
I actually did.
Did you do that?
Did a couple of rounds yesterday.
It's fun, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it's hard.
I hadn't done that at all before. I'd never even tried it. So I was a little bit confused. The first one I did, I couldn't figure out how to get a new car. I was literally driving around I think it gives you a Beetle to start with.
Yeah.
For ages, until someone found me and did a race against me, and instantly lost. But the second time I figured out, they actually dropped some, and there's smoke. You just got to drive towards the smoke to get cars. But yeah, there's you get the festival points if you finish in the top 30, which is not too hard to do in fairness. I think I managed to finish top 30 without even actually racing anyone. So yeah, I managed to get those points. I got to the very end, and then when you get to the end, it actually does like a waypoint outside of the circle, and it's like the first one there. So that is kind of pretty epic, because I think there's 8 of us all sprinting towards this waypoint, and obviously some people were just trying to go a straight line across the volcano. Some people were trying to actually follow the roads. I was trying to do a mixture of the both. I think I ended up finishing third or something like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's just an additional mode. You know what I mean? There's that. There's the Super 7 mode, which I haven't done yet.
Yeah,
the challenge mode,
which they added really late to 4, but it's integrated from the start. And also, am I right in thinking they changed the Horizon event thing?
Yeah, the Forza fun in the last game.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. It's like an arcade mode or something now. Is that?
Yeah.
Have you tried that?
I've done a couple. It's actually a lot more difficult to achieve. I felt like in Forza Fun in 4 and 3, you could basically no matter what you did, there was always enough of you, and the goals were very achievable, so you could get it. Whereas this time, I have failed in the second round a couple of times with the group that I'm in, which is good because it needs to be more challenging, because the rewards are very, very high for that. But yeah, they have changed it slightly, but it's pretty much the same, but it's a slight change. It's like a rebrand, I guess.
I tried a couple and we failed most of the ones that I did, because it would be only a couple of us, but that is obviously pre-release. And I've already seen driving past a couple today, there's a lot more people starting them now that the game's officially out, so it might be a lot easier now. I don't know, but I believe there's a separate shop for that as well. I believe you get
there's a Forza Fun point shop, which should be open now. Wasn't open last time I checked. Obviously, I've done the main seasonal event this time, so I've got I've got hella bank. I think you get 81 points, because if you're smart, if you've got the Ultimate Edition, there is a VIP house which doubles your Forza Fun points, which I did before I completed that. So I have a hella amount of points to spend when I get on there later. So but yeah, like I said, it does that job where everything is integrated very nicely. And it's fun, and it's one of those things as well. About the thing about Forza is it's a lot of content. There is already you can see there's a lot of content, but every bit of content they're going to add is going to be good. So I'm very curious with the expansions. I'm very curious with the free story stuff they always do, how the game is going to build. But so my initial impression is it's probably my game of the year. It's that or Football Manager at the moment, very comfortably. There isn't anything else that's come out that's even particularly close for me at the moment, to be honest. I know I've played a lot less of games from this year. I could say there's nothing on PlayStation. There will be nothing on PlayStation that's come out this year that will be up there. It's whether the Nintendo games take over, really, to be honest with you. So But yeah, so I imagine it's very similar for you, Craig. You've played a lot more games from this year, but I imagine Forza's pretty high in your ranking so far already.
Yeah, so I had like a group of three that I kind of knew were like probably the three best games I played this year, but I didn't know what order, which was The Artful Escape, Psychonauts 2, and Village. But I think this probably moves comfortably ahead of those three for me now. So it's probably that, like probably Forza is probably top, and then those three kind of competing for the second, third, and fourth. Yeah, it is. It is like the way it just smoothly integrates everything, like you say, is phenomenal. Do you have like a favorite car or anything like that, Dave, so far?
Well, as you know, Craig, all of my favorite cars are rally cars. So
yeah.
I mean, I've been using.
So you do have a Quattro.
I don't know if I do actually. I
don't have one yet.
It's been very Mitsubishi heavy so far because obviously I haven't really spent any money on buying cars because there's just no point because you get so many wheel spins.
You just don't need to, do you?
No, and obviously I've still got the free voucher to use for getting the elite version, well, the VIP version of the game, whatever. My favorite cars that I use a lot is I've got a really nice Focus RS that I've done up quite nicely. I have like 3 rally cars: the Focus RS, a Peugeot 207, and a Lancer of some kind that I kind of cycle between when I'm doing the dirt events, which is what I do first, really, because they're my favourite. To be more interesting, I guess I quite like the Apollo for the S2 car, and they give you a really sick Ford Puma, like Forza Edition S1 Ford Puma, which goes like a bat out of hell.
Yeah, I saw some people complaining that it's kind of a bit OP as well.
It's very OP. That and the BMW, they give you a very OP. Very OP, actually.
Oh, well, the S2.
Yeah. But whatever, it's just if you don't use it, if you feel like it's too easy in it. So, what about you, Craigo?
I've been enjoying the Supra that it gives you the new one.
Yeah,
I've been enjoying using that a lot. The Alpine that we unlocked through the festival.
I've got 2 of those now for some reason.
Yeah, I had the same weird bug where it dropped my festival points down from 23 to 21 and then gave me the car twice. So there's quite a neat thing you can do, whereas when you find a barn find, you can actually put a car back in the barn find for someone else to pick up. So I just put anything cool. I had duplicates in. You also get achievement for doing it at least once, so it's worth doing. So I just put like that Alpine that I weirdly glitched straight in there for someone. But yeah, probably those 2 are probably my favourites so far. I've mainly been sticking to kind of A class because I find there's quite a big jump from A to S1 in terms of like speed and trying to actually handle the cars. Anything below A is kind of quite somewhat easy. You can kind of stay on top of it. When you get to S1, it is like terrifyingly fast. You watch people do S2 and X, and it's just I don't know how people do that. Even like the OP cars that you have in that, just mental. Absolutely crazy.
We did an online race in S2 and it's awful.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know what class it is. The Conan's a Jesko or something like that.
It's like the fastest car in the game. Yeah.
Yes, I was going to say I've seen this like the fastest or best car or whatever in it. Either if you got that, yeah, because you can unlock it, I think.
Yeah, we could just buy it if we want to because we got the voucher. Yeah. But no, I've stayed away from X. I've been staying away from the X.
I do want it though because I think it goes like 309 miles per hour. You can get a tune. Yeah. It goes that fast.
And all the speed traps as well. Like all the
it's the best races. Car for all of the speed traps and the danger signs and that sort of thing. So it's probably be worth getting just for that. Even if you don't plan on racing it.
We try and get as many achievements as possible, which I suppose the next thing to talk about is like the achievement list, Craig. I think it's pretty good. It's probably the best first party achievement list for a long time, actually. Which
definitely.
Is weird.
I mean, there's still 53. Yeah, there's still 53 achievements, which is a lot, but compared to
they're all like do the game though, aren't they? There's not too many like really weird ones. There's a couple of them, but I don't think I looked at there's too much that isn't doable. Like I feel like a solid 700-800 is very, very doable just by completing the game. Obviously, stuff like the boards you can make easy for yourself by getting the treasure map and watching videos of how to get the weird ones. And obviously, the roads and stuff like that it's an afternoon. One of our friends has already done it because he's a psychopath. But like, I've done it before. I'll put a podcast on and I'll just drive around and I'll do it by myself one night. Maybe Friday night, because obviously we're seeing each other on Saturday and I'll have to stay up late on Friday to balance it out. So maybe Saturday at 2 a.m. I will get all the roads and get that 50 Gs or whatever it is. But But obviously, Chris hasn't played it yet because Chris hates fun. But hopefully, Chris will play it ready for next week.
Like the thing is, the early access came out Friday, and I didn't get back till late Sunday. And I started Ratchet. I wanted to finish it before starting Forza, but I've redone my Game Pass. I managed to get 4 months for a bit of a deal. So so I got 4 months Game Pass now.
How much was it?
I managed to get 4 months for £12.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was that Amazon or some
no?
dodgy website?
No, it's actually what I did was there's a £1 offer if you've not had PC Game Pass for 3 months. So I did PC Game Pass for 3 months for £1, and then bought a Ultimate, and it converted it all to Ultimate. So I have 12 quid for 4 months of Game Pass Ultimate now. So
Pengy strikes again.
Gonna buy the VIP pack for Forza, or are you just gonna play the normal?
It's kind of now because it's out. The early access is a little bit pointless. The early access bit is now gone, so that's pointless. And am I right in thinking there's only one car pack available at the moment, the Formula Drift one?
How it's working is there's the Formula Drift one. But obviously, if you have the premium edition, you get all the DLC cards. They've already,
which is the car pack thing.
Yeah, so they've already announced some of them that are coming. I think the first one that isn't the Formula Drift is a new Subaru, like a Subaru that came out last year.
Is the welcome pack not one of the car packs?
Yes,
possibly. Yeah.
That'd be 2.
So I'm not like, obviously you got the VIP membership, which gives you extra XP and stuff, doesn't it? And gives you said about the house and the thing. So there is some stuff.
I guess the main thing is the add-ons, though. Yeah,
the 2 expansions. Yeah, but so I'm like tempted by the VIP thing and obviously the expansions and stuff. But it's like, could I buy it piecemeal? It's gonna end up more, but wait until the expansions comes out. So I'm on the little bit on the fence at the moment. Like four I bought the VIP because I played it 4 days early, and that was really one of the main things for me on that front. So
yeah, I think now I'm on 3, 4, and 5 now. I've had the Ultimate Edition in 3 different ways of purchasing it, because obviously the way that you purchase games on Xbox has changed. It's one of those funny things. I actually saw a physical copy of the game today.
I seen it today as well,
and I was so
the new box. It's got the new box.
It's got the new fancy. To be fair, the new fancy Series X boxes are sick. That and Halo, I was like, if I had a Series X, I'd buy them anyway, just because. But it was so interesting. It was interesting to see them because I hadn't seen them before. But yeah, that's Forza. We will continue to talk about it through the next couple of weeks for sure. And it's definitely going to be in the Game of the Year conversation at the end of the year. I mean, even if Chris doesn't like it, I think me and Craig have probably secured it at least a top 3 spot in our overall score at this point. So yeah. But yeah, that's Forza Horizon 5. As for everything else that's out this week, like I said, there's quite a lot of releases.
This week is a pretty busy week. It's like Xbox, you got Forza out properly today. You got Football Manager came out 9 o'clock last night on PC/consoles on Xbox. So that's GTA San Andreas on Game Pass, but the whole trilogy if you wanted to buy it. You got, I think the early version of Battlefield is this week as well.
Yeah, I think it's the Ultimate Edition. I think so.
Yeah, there's 2 versions.
COD's just come out as well.
Yeah.
There's games, boys, lots of games. It's the dark times. Obviously for us, probably more Forza, definitely Football Manager. That's probably going to keep me tied over until Pokemon, which is at least another podcast away. So we won't have to talk about any more Nintendo stuff yet, Craig. Don't you worry. But yeah. So is there any, other than Forza, is there any plans, Craig, to play anything else this week?
No, mainly Forza. And then if I do kind of want to play anything else, it'd probably be going back to Scarlet Nexus and doing that second playthrough. And then once that's done, it's not really anything I want to buy at the moment, but there is been some stuff that's been added to Game Pass, some indies, some stuff like Echo Generation, stuff like that I'd maybe go back and play. I think Unpacking.
I've actually installed that as well on PC today.
Is it on PC?
Yeah, because all the reviews on that are saying it's not very good with a controller and better with a mouse, which I can kind of see the point. move your objects and place them where you need to. So I can kind of see the logic in that.
Yeah, so there's a few games like that I maybe play after Scarlet Nexus, because I think Scarlet Nexus can be quite a long one. So a few like shorter indie games might be kind of what I want to play at the time. I think like Unpacking is quite an easy completion as well. So yeah, it'd be stuff like that once I've weaned off Forza a little bit. But at the moment, I'm just whenever I turn the Xbox on, it's just straight to Forza.
And obviously, the big question before we get to what Chris is going to buy, obviously, for us in our job that we don't say on air, we have a double discount day coming up soon, and I believe it is your birthday soon, Craig. So is there any little tempters that you haven't played? You know, there's a couple that come to mind. Your Assassin's Creed Valhalla's, your stuff like that. Maybe Riders Republic, right? Basically Ubisoft games, but nothing like that catching your eye at all. No,
not really. Not when there's so much stuff on Game Pass that I would just rather play instead. In honesty,
fair enough.
I was going to say, what about the sort of big one of GTA San Andreas? I know it's only one of the 3.
I'm going to try it.
Tempting.
I'm going to try it. I've got it pre-installed. I've never finished San Andreas. I finished Vice City in 3 back in the day, and I'm curious because I kind of wanted to pick up this collection for Switch, ironically, just because I thought, handheld. But as soon as I heard that one of them was coming to the Game Pass, I thought, well, I might as well just see how the game plays on Xbox. And if it does play in an enjoyable way, I'll probably just buy them all on Xbox eventually. I'm sure at some point you'd be able to buy them separately, which is what I'd rather do.
They are weirdly, if you go to look at the actual game and then go what's in this bundle, they are listed as 3 separate ones. And obviously the one is coming to Game Pass and the one's coming to PlayStation Now. So I don't know why they're just not also.
Because I just buy Vice City because that's the one I want to play.
Because that's the one that isn't on any service.
Yeah, that's the one I want to play because it's the one with the 80s music and the 80s vibe, and it's the one I enjoyed the most when I was younger. 3 is a great game. San Andreas, what I played, is a great game, but Vice City is the most unique of the 3D GTAs. Obviously, you got London on the 2D ones, but playing in that kind of cool 80s Miami Vice kind of thing is a really fun. It's a really fun time. So I'm curious. I'm just really curious about the controls. If the controls are good and it makes the big problems with that game not a big problem anymore, then it could be a surprisingly pretty good. You know what I mean? It could be a bit of a hit. That's stupid to say because it's GTA, but I don't think people are expecting it to be anything. So if it does control well, it looks better. If it controls well as well, you're well, actually, this is going to be a good time. Those games are always really well written. They're always fun, aren't they? I don't think I've ever played a GTA game and not gone, it's fun. That's the whole point. It's just fun to do the stupid crap that you do in those worlds. So, yeah. When's
this actually out?
It's the 11th, I think.
That's only a couple of days then.
Yeah, and I think it's a good. I know we're playing open world Forza, but I think it's a good palate cleanser for that type of experience. And again, the fact that it's on Game Pass is cool. It's a £55 bundle, so I'm getting to try probably the biggest of the 3 games for free with my subscription in a holiday sense. It seems pretty smart to me, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm curious, but yeah, it's pre-installed. It's pre-installed, that and Forza, though I think that might have finally changed from the coming soon thing, which annoys the hell out of me on there. I think it's just Halo I've got coming soon on my games and apps, but there we go.
You also got Skyrim Anniversary this week as well.
Never finished Skyrim. I've started it so many times. It's just, I don't know, they never vibe with me, the Elder Scrolls games. Not since Morrowind, I don't think. I didn't particularly like Oblivion back in the day with all the bloom. But yeah, you going to play Skyrim, Pengy?
No, I've also tried it soon.
Yeah, and Craig hasn't tried it and hasn't. I think we are the only 3 people ever to have a podcast where none of us have finished Skyrim or even got close, I don't think. I think I played 25 hours on there. It came to 360.
I think even Dan and Andy have played shitloads of Skyrim.
Most people have. It's one of the best-selling games of the last 2 generations.
And the weird thing is, I have finished Morrowind and Oblivion, and I really enjoyed both of them. But what I have played at Skyrim, I was not a huge fan of. So
I just always find those games it was fun, but it was kind of I just can't really be bothered. I struggle pretty heavily with open world games anyway. But there needs to be some hook to for Sleeping Dogs, the combat was so good that I was oh, this is a reason to keep playing. You know what I mean? And Forza, it's the driving and that is so much fun. But if it's just a little bit boring with like the weird same animations that you do, and first person as well is something I struggle with, and I know the third person's awful. So maybe this is the time, Chris. Maybe this is the time.
Yeah,
because I have got a big plan for next year, which I could talk about any time. But I have a big, ridiculous, I definitely won't achieve it plan for the first 6 months of 2022. So if it's coming to Game Pass, it will not count against that plan.
Yeah, it's sort of coming to Game Pass. There's a free series update, but you have to buy the anniversary edition.
Fair, I would just play the Xbox One version. I can't imagine it's going to be that different for someone like me who doesn't have a 4K setup, right? But yeah, I will save the full reveal of the Dave 2022 plan for nearer the time, but it will be fine. Don't worry. So I guess that's it. Is it? Is we podcasted out?
Yeah, I
Chris needs to go and turn on Forza, get through the load screen, and then declare it finished like he's done with Silent Hill.
No, I'm going to finish Ratchet and Clank first. That is the plan. That is going to get finished first.
PlayStation. Ugh. Love it. Anyway, thank you for watching the podcast. If you like the show and you've got this far, drop a like, drop a comment, drop a subscribe. Why not?
Grant. I know Grant has been playing Sleeping Dogs, so maybe you can tell you all about it.
Tell me about the best game ever made, please, Grant. I'd like to hear it. And then maybe Craig will play it. Maybe that'll be some sort of weird bets that we'll have to have. If Craig doesn't win Fantasy League somehow now, he's playing Sleeping Dogs. So yeah, if you want to follow us, again, you can follow Chris at Massive Das on all the socials. You can follow me at UFGizmo, and you can follow Craig in the street. We will see you next time.
Bye.